Friday, everyone, and happy Good Friday, everybody. I hope you guys are having a fantastic holiday, or kickstart after the holiday anyway. We are going to give you this lovely little adventure here. It's a good time. It's a little bit of interval work that's going to definitely challenge, we'll say, as we get going through this work set. But before we get to the work set, let's talk about the warm-up. Warm-up is going to consist of some plank leans for 6 to 10 alternating reps, plank prone shoulder raise for 6 to 10 alternating at a 1 to 2 second hold per rep. Humeral glide for knee push-up for 3 to 5, finishing off with that arch hold for 20 to 30 seconds. We're going to work on that nice extension position. 2 to 3 rounds through that. We're going to move into the bottom piece, plank to bear squat for 3 to 5 reps, narrow squat for 3 to 5 at a 3-3-3 tempo, quad plank 20 to 30 seconds, squat for 3 to 5 reps, just normal air squat for 3-3-3 tempo, and a floor pike hold 20 to 30 seconds. So bouncing back and forth between that upper body and that lower body kind of work set. Now the work set is going to take a little longer today than kind of normal. Not as long, probably, pretty close actually to yesterday. But today we're going to be pushing in to make each round about the same, and there's some built-in rest into this work set. So what you're going to do, 3 to 5 rounds, depends on how much time you have on the holiday and how much kind of volume you'd like to give yourself today. You're going to do 20 push-ups, 30 pike sit-ups, and 40 squats. Done. Finish the round, rest 3 minutes. So then you take on that next piece right there, bam, push up for 20, 30 pike sit-ups, squat for 40, rest 3 minutes. So we want to try and make every single round about the same time. All right, so we're get a full solid 3 minutes of rest in between each of these rounds so we can attack each of these rounds. And you have that for 3 to 5 rounds in total. So again, depending on how much volume you'd like, looking at these numbers in the work set, you can say, yeah, okay, I think I can take that down for 5, or nah, today I kind of want to just stick to 3, get some work done, and continue on with the day. Either one is right. Rock the work set that you would like to work today, and we'll have some fun. All right, you guys, let's get ourselves warmed up and ready for action. We'll take the arms big and tall up overhead. We're going to take a big reach to one side. Back through the other side, big reach. Oh, come back up, little shrug. Come back down with the arms, hands out to the T. We're going to turn them in, turn them out, turn them in, turn them out, turn them in, and out. Big stretch, big reach to one side. Oh, big reach to the other side. Oh, good. Scratch your back and reach through the elbow. Back up, big stretch. Scratch your back and reach to the elbow. Good, come back up, big stretch. And forward fold. We'll touch those toes. We'll walk ourselves up the shins. We're going to come all the way down, framing the foot. Stepping back into our lizard lunge. We're going to take the inside hand all the way up. And we're going to rotate forearm to the floor. We're going to come back up. We're going to bend at the 90. We're going to reach straight ahead. Pulling that arm back. Straight ahead. Pulling the arm back, straight ahead, and pulling back. We'll reach up, rotate one more time, coming back up to the sky, plant the hand, we'll take the other hand up to the sky, planting that hand down, we'll step back into our down dog, reach in those hips, we'll walk the heels, nice and slow, nice and steady, come back into our plank, step the other foot up, nice and square in those hips, inside hands with reach. We'll rotate, forearm to the floor. Come back up, rotate, take it back up, and rotate. Just realize I forgot to do that again. Bending at the elbow, we'll reach, pull back, reach, pull back, and reach, and pull back. We'll take it up. We give ourselves one more rotation just because I'm a spaz today. We'll take it up to the side, come back down, and step her back into that down dog. Set those shoulders, walk those heels back and forth, nice and slow, nice and steady. We'll come back into that plank, tiptoe those feet up, roll ourselves all the way up, big stretch, big reach to one side, reach to the other side, come down with those hands. Whew. Get ready for action. So let's pause the video if you want to take down any extra kind of warm up for yourself. So thread the needles, cat cows, got a little mix and match there again. I used to be telling myself, don't do what you did the other day, and then exactly what happened. So, always tell yourself what you want to do, not what you shouldn't do. Anyway, let's pause the video, take down any extra warm-up you'd like. I'm going to start you off with that first phase of our warm-up, and we'll get you guys ready to go. All right, our warm-up today is going to start off with our plank lean. So our plank lean today is going to kind of focus on that upper body and just work on that kind of shifting back and forth. So I'm going to face you guys dead on so you guys can see the shoulder activation. First things first though, I'm going to get pulled through into my plank position, pressing my shoulders up. I'm going to pull myself to the side. I'm going to pull myself to the other side. So I'm really focusing on that strong shoulder engagement, maintaining those good hips, and then activating through the upper body. So the lower body just sort of follows the upper body as I shift from side to side. This doesn't change at all, and we really want to make sure that everything moves at the same time, back and forth in our body positions. Now, moving forward after our plank leans, we're going to lay on our stomach. We're going to work on our prone shoulder raise. So it's been a little bit. So we're going to lay on our stomach. I'm going to go sideways so you can see the body position. Palms are down. My toes are into the floor. I'm going to squeeze my glutes, pull my ribs in, press my armpits down, and press my palms so I can feel that engagement from pinky toe to pinky finger. And now from here, I'm going to lift up an arm, holding that position for 1 to 2 seconds, pressing that hand down. I'm going to lift the other arm, holding for 1 to 2 seconds, coming back down, and then continuing on with the other side. So, again with these reps, if you find it really challenging to maintain your core position in between both sides, disengage, re-engage, and then get those next 2 reps going so that we can maintain that nice smooth hollow for each single rep. I find that for most people, 2 to 4 reps is pretty good. Pushing between 6 to 8 in a row can be very challenging to maintain the core position. So slowly start to build those things up and add those pieces in as you need to in terms of trying to further your volume. But again, intensity through the core is what we're after with that prone shoulder raise. After that, we're going to stay on our stomach for the next 2 exercises. So we're going to work on our humeral glide to knee push-up. So I'm going to slide my hands from out here into my chest, just outside my shoulders. My wrist is going to be stacked stacked underneath of the elbow. And I'm going to pull my shoulders forward to where I don't want them in a push-up. I'm going to pull them back, which doesn't really change any body position except my shoulders. My elbow stays stacked over top of my wrist. I'm going to pull my ribs in. I'm going to squeeze my glutes, press to that knee push position, and now from here, lowering forward and down, maintaining that tension all the way to the floor. I lose my tension, I reset, I pull my shoulders forward, I pull them back and set, ribs and hips, press to the knees, and then again, continuing that intensity, that engagement, all the way to the floor. Very important we control all the way down to the ground so that we build that engagement for those full push-ups that we're building towards. Afterwards, we're going to work an arch hold. So we're kind of revisiting this from the other day when we did our gymnastics work. Toes will be together. I'm going to get myself set up, and I'm going to inhale, reaching my legs long to the back, reaching those fingers forward, holding that position, and then lowering down to the floor. I'm going to hold anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds, or I have the option of working unilateral work. So I'm going to reach right hand, left foot, extending super long, holding that position, then lowering down, switching at half the dime, and then holding that position again on the other side for that rest and remaining time. So I'm really focusing on that extension, that long body position, not so much how high I get. That lengthening and spacing of the vertebrae will turn into a nice high arch as we start building that strength. As a quick recap, we have a plank lean for 6 to 10 alternating reps, prone shoulder raise 6 to 10 with a 1 to 2 second pause, humeral glide to knee push-up, 3 to 5 reps. If you want to add a 3-second negative in there or eccentric, you can. Arch hold at the end for 20 to 30 seconds, 2 to 3 rounds. It's going to generate some heat in the shoulder and the core and really get you primed up and ready for what's to come in the work set. So pause the video, take that down, come along with me. We're going to work on our little sandwich of upper and lower body coming up next. Continuing on our journey of warming up the body, we're going to go through our plank to bear squats. We're going to really work on opening up the hips and ankles, but at the same time, really warming up those shoulders. So I'm going to get myself profiled to the camera. My hands are just outside my shoulders. I'm going to establish a nice plank position through the hip and through the shoulder. I'm going to separate the feet a little bit into my squat stance or my hip width stance, and I'm going to focus on my pinky and my thumb as I maintain equal but kind of pressure down. I'm going to pull my hips straight back in between my ankles, pressing down into that pinky and thumb, pushing straight out into that plank, holding that position for a beat or two, and then extending back and into that bear squat position. Remembering, our bear squat position is very similar in terms of shoulder position as the down dog, except my hips are low and in my bear squat, my hips are high in my down dog. So it's a little more load on the shoulder in a different way, but it's the same activation, same positioning, same pressure through the hands, activation through the shoulder. So we really want to make sure we're taking the time in between reps to maintain and set those shoulder positions. After our plank to bear squat, we're going to stand tall and we're going to work on a narrow squat. So we're going to take our time with a 3-3-3 tempo. And that narrow squat can be anything inside my regular squat stance. And that can change day to day. The big thing is we're focusing on our really strong squat mechanics. So I'm standing tall, my glutes are engaged, my ribs are in. I'm going to keep my weight through my midfoot as I take the hips to the heels. Really focusing on staying upright as I can. And then I'm going to stand up tall. So I'm going to work on that 3-second down, 3-second hold in the bottom, 3-second stand up. So I'm really working on slowing down that rhythm and really opening up those knees, hips, and ankles. After the narrow squat, I'm going to go into my quad plank. So I'm going back up to the core and the arms. So from here, I'll get into my tabletop. My tabletop, hands are going to be under my shoulders. I'm going to have wide fingers, so spreading out those hands for really good surface area. My knees are under my hips and there's space between them, and my toes are curled under. I'm going to pull my ribs in, press my shoulders to the ceiling, and I'm going to lift my knees about an inch off the floor. And I'm just going to hold this position, pulling everything inwards, trying to pull my hands towards my knees towards my hands. They're not going to move anywhere, but I'm generating that tension and working on holding that engagement the entire time. Not just sort of hanging out in the quad plank, but I'm pulling everything in and creating a lot more tension in the body. I'm going to hold that for anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds, as long as I can maintain that shoulder engagement and that core engagement. From there, I'm going to work on a normal air squat. So the foundation of so many movements we do. So we just did our narrow squat. We're going to come back to our regular squat stance, and we're going to work on those same mechanics. Hips to the heels, body nice and tall, keeping my weight through my midfoot and flat foot contact. So I'm going to take it down, same tempo, 3 seconds down, 3-second hold in the bottom, staying active and tall, and then 3-second stand, all the way up to extension. So again, hip to heel, staying midfoot balanced, staying upright, and then pushing through those legs nice and tall. Taking the time to really warm that squat up in a slow manner, because we're going to attack them a little faster in the work set, so it's nice to groove that movement out now in a calm setting. Last but not least, we're going to work on our overhead a little bit. We have our floor pike hold. So I'm going to get back into my tabletop with a minor change to my tabletop. My hands just outside the shoulders. My knees are going to come together, toes curled under. I'm going to pull my ribs in, press my shoulders up, and this time I'm going to keep my shoulders over my hands and straighten out my legs into that nice solid press through the shoulders. Legs are straight or as straight as they can be, and if I need to, I can tiptoe my feet a little closer to work on loading my hands more. So I'm really focusing on pressing through my arms, shoulders up by the ears, nice and active, pulling those ribs in so I'm in that good hollow, and embracing the tension that I want to take into my normal handstand up against the wall, or freestanding. So So it's a great opportunity to, again, build that tension, build that body position that we're going to take into other movements later on. As a quick recap, we have our plank to bear squat for 3 to 5, narrow squat for 3 to 5 reps at a 3-3-3 tempo, quad plank, 20 to 30 seconds, working on that engagement. Nice air squat for 3 to 5 at a 3-3-3 tempo, and then floor pike hold for 20 to 30 seconds. 2 to 3 rounds, take that down. That's going to get your body primed and ready to go for our intervals coming up next. So pause, rock it, come back to me. We're going to go through the movements in our workout and turn you loose. All right, you're warmed up, you're ready to go. It's time to go through the movements in our workout today. So we have push-ups. So with our push-ups, you have an option. If you've been doing them at home off an ottoman, a chair, countertop, keep it up, keep working on building those down to the floor. I'm gonna walk you through 3 different floor variations that we can play with today in this workout, because these push-ups are gonna slowly start, actually right off the hop, they're gonna get hard, because there's 20 of them in the first set. So keep that in mind. If you're not strong with push-ups, break these down right off the hop to keep you moving smoothly for the later rounds of this workout. But first things first, we have 3 different variations of push-up. We have our full toe, so I get set up in my good plank position, shoulders are set. I'm gonna come forward and down, touching my chest, coming back up to that nice tall plank position. Making sure that my goal is to keep those elbows at that nice 45 and that elbow stacked over top of the wrist. I'm gonna create a little tripod between my head and my hands, and that's what we're shooting for in that forward and down motion. Now, if you don't have the full toe push, but you have the good toe lower, we have this variation for you, which can be very challenging to maintain tension. So I want you guys to really focus on pulling those ribs in, keeping that tight through the midsection. As we lower down, I lower my knees, press to my knees, come back to my toes. So I'm not disengaging when I lower my knees, I'm maintaining that good set position through my ribs and my hips, so I create that good hollow, and I don't lose it as I lower my knees. I'm just lowering my knees to take some pressure off my shoulder to press up. If we disengage when we lower our knees, it's going to be really hard to create a really good push, because again, we want to recreate that humeral glide to knee push-up position that we used earlier on in our warm-up. Our last option for the push-up is right from the knees. So we get set up in our toe push-up position first, so we're full plank, nice and set, and I drop my knees straight down, so I'm in my good knee plank. Now from here, I'll come forward and down, maintaining my hollow, and I'm going to maintain that position with the elbows at that 45 and that good tight hollow position all the way through. So beginning your knee push-up sets, make sure we establish our full plank first, then lower the knees afterwards to maintain good positioning. After that, we have our pike sit up, and we love our pike sit up. So we're gonna get ourselves nice and straight with those legs, toes pointed, legs are as straight as we can make them. We're gonna lay it down, touching above the head, using a little bit of momentum to come up and reach as far down the thighs as we can. Now, if you have tight hamstrings, you may find that you can only get to about your shins, maybe the tongue of your shoe. That's okay. But as the workout progresses, you may find that you get a little bit more range. And if you do discover this, explore that range. All right? Use that range as the hamstrings warm up, get a little bit more free, and explore that range as you go. On the same token, if you have tight hamstrings, don't try and be a hero and go right beyond your toes on the first rep. Ease into those pike sit-ups in that range of motion as we go. All right, so see how it feels, take it step by step, rep for rep, and take it from there. Last but not least in our work set, we have our air squat. So we covered our air squat already, but we want to think of our natural kind of stance here with this one, and we have a nice smooth squat. So we're working on keeping the knees apart, weight through the midfoot, hips going towards the heels, and our body staying tall. And I'm all down on trying to push the pace of these air squats, but please make sure if we're pushing the pace, we're still hitting full extension, we're still getting good depth, and we're maintaining our points of performance. If you start to lose your points of performance, slow down a little bit. There's nothing wrong, you don't have to stop, but slow down a little bit, get those key points under control again, and then start picking up the pace again, and just kind of adjust your movement and your pace as you go. This workout is going to be a doozy, you guys. Remember, it's 3, 2, 5 rounds. So choose your round option in the beginning so you know what to plan for in terms of speed and pacing. But we have 3 to 5 rounds, 20 push-ups, 30 pike sit-ups, 40 squats, rest 3 minutes, repeat. And your goal is try and keep each round pretty close together, all right? Try and keep those efforts pretty tight within about, hopefully 20 to 30 seconds of each other. It's gonna get hard with those push-ups, but like I said in the beginning, if you're not super strong with push-up volume, start by breaking them down sooner than later, and then take it from there. I hope you guys have a fantastic Good Friday. Enjoy this work set. It's challenging, it's hard, but it's a lot of fun. As always though, work for quality, challenge yourself, have a great time, and we'll see you tomorrow for another fun little work set. Bye you guys.